Over the last few years, we've seen an insanely rapid change in our economic systems. The world is evolving, and honestly, you've got to get with the times as new technologies become more prevalent. New horizons are being tapped, and new industries that we hadn't previously considered are being formed. So keep watching to learn about the industry that could possibly change life as we know it, as well as a bunch of other exciting ones. Number 6. Artificial intelligence. Google tracks our online habits. We let Amazon lead us through the vast aisles of the digital market, and Facebook learns our preferences. Siri helps us find nearby restaurants and much more. Ever since machines started learning on their own, they have made great strides toward becoming genuinely conscious of themselves. Today, we are on the cusp of a time when we will travel in self-driving cars and coexist with robots, read books or listen to music created by machines. In fact, some of us are already living in this future. Artificial intelligence is not just a field that is exclusive to computer scientists. We're talking about creating brains like ours, and potentially ones that will even be way more powerful. As everything becomes connected thanks to the internet, more and more data related to our behavior will be collected, and the machines will have infinitely more material to learn. Renewable energy. According to a recent report, nearly $5 trillion will have been invested in the new clean energy sector by 2030. There will be many new power plants built with this investment. Bloomberg New Energy Finance predicts that by 2030, renewable energy sources will account for more than 60% of the 5,579 gigawatts of new generation capacity and 65% of the $7.7 trillion in power investments. As a result, we anticipate a decline in the usage of fossil fuels of 64% from 2013. A series of worrying geopolitical developments and the increasing frequency of catastrophic climate incidents have clearly shown the necessity to speed up the energy transition. These events have also strengthened the practicality and motivation for a switch to renewable energy sources. In short, investing in renewable energy stocks or even businesses is a great bet for you. And if that's not your vibe, building a career within this industry would be a super smart idea too. Since the United States government granted exemptions to companies to fly drones in the industries of insurance, construction, and agriculture, the scope of drone technology has expanded outside the military space. To further support the market, the Federal Aviation Administration assisted in developing a regulatory framework for commercial drones. Since then, companies have done everything they can to deliver drone technology to as many enterprises as possible. Even huge financial firms are bullish on the drone industry. According to Goldman Sachs, the overall drone market will be worth $100 billion in the coming years as commercial and government demand for drones increases in the industries of insurance, construction, and agriculture. The scope of drone technology has expanded outside the military space to further support the market. The Federal Aviation Administration assisted in developing a regulatory framework for commercial drones. Since then, companies have done everything they can to deliver drone technology to as many enterprises as possible. Even huge financial firms are bullish on the drone industry. According to Goldman Sachs, the overall drone market will be worth $100 billion in the coming years as commercial and government demand for drones grows. Similarly, additional studies indicate that the drone industry will be worth more than $58 billion by 2026, with a compound annual growth rate of more than 16% from 2021. The market for tying drones is also growing and will be worth $22.55 billion by 2026. This one's really a no-brainer. You just got to get in now. All of these industries sound promising, but what will protect us from potential security threats? We're sure you already have a guess in mind, so write it down in the comments down below. Before we move further, number 7, cybersecurity. We've already discussed industries that will make our entire existence increasingly rely on computer systems, increasing our vulnerability to cyber attacks. Without proper cybersecurity systems, hackers can access bank accounts, steal classified state information, can freeze entire companies, and obtain our personal information. But they will soon have potential access to everything connected to the internet, which will be almost everything around us, from our houses to our cars to medical equipment, hospitals. Which is why the cybersecurity industry is our only hope for any real security, and it is guaranteed that it will grow exponentially over the course of the upcoming future. Number 6, virtual. The era of virtual reality is here. There is simply no way around it. Industry leaders have already invested heavily in research and development in order to produce the most spectacular cutting-edge VR gear on the market. With Search Eater investment and product development, the UR commodities that were once considered sci-fi appeared almost simultaneously. Consumers are practically drowning in the number of VR options available in the blink of an eye. While marketing for virtual reality has reached a fever pitch, you will see them in magazines and newspapers, on television, and most notably on the internet, which is a virtual landmine of pop-up advertising. The global market is now worth $28 billion, up from $21.83 billion in 2021. The recent growth has piqued the interest of not only venture capitalists and private equity firms, but also of Main Street investors looking to capitalize on the boom. It used to be difficult to identify virtual reality investing opportunities, but the sector has evolved significantly over the years, and an increasing number of virtual reality companies are beginning to offer stock on the open market. Created a machine. Recently, an entity
gaming
knocked
sector
down
has
by
been
the
the
same
industry's
limitations
driving
as
force.
and we must
while there
consider
aren't
the
many
consequences
pure-play
of our
businesses
actions
to
invest in.
a machine
and
unburdened
number
by
of
morally
publicly
traded
traded tech
ethics
firms
have
we
been
must
pouring
also
money into the
recognize the
expanding
potential
sector
benefits
as a
of
result.
artificial intelligence,
And these are the
it has
firms in
power
which
to solve
people are
problems
most
that have
interested.
eluded us for centuries. So yeah, to unlock the mysteries
might have
of
to
the
figure
universe
things
out with this one,
and to improve the
but
lives
no one
of
can
people.
deny the potential VR has for 2023. Rising labor costs. Although firms may find it difficult to justify the expense of robot installation, they will see that the cost of operating these robots is significantly lower than human wages in the long run. Robots also increase accuracy and safety. Of course, robots do not become sick or fatigued, and they do not spread viruses. Indeed, in many industries, robots are now a necessary part of the workforce. According to estimates, the worldwide robotics market will be worth USD 81.4 billion in 2028. This figure is predicted to increase by 270 by 2030. Further, as demand for robots grows, dozens of new companies enter the market. Fueling the market's expansion, the robotics business is still in its early stages, but it has made remarkable development. The promise of more innovative and forward-thinking technology which we once imagined now appears to be within grasp. The pandemic has obviously sucked. But would you believe us if we said an industry has emerged out of it that may change the entire course of our lives? The answer better be yes. Because genomics is totally taking the world by storm. Number 4. Genomic science is a disruptive innovation that offers investors both bait and promising returns. It is by far one of the most remarkable things that have happened in our lives. All of these advancements point to other forms of investments. The benefits of genomics are incredibly vast. Genomics is a future in which gene editing will be used to identify and promising returns. It is by far one of the most remarkable things that have happened in our lives. All of these advancements point to a future in which gene editing will be used to treat, identify, and treat DNA-inherited disorders. Until now, the typical treatment for such disorders has been stupidly expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. The pandemic has accelerated our need for studying the human body with all of its intricacies to figure things out much faster than before.